install the bottom layer of the keel for the mobile end of the drag chain. On the keel layer, on our blueprint, there are 2 keels on both sides. Then we need to expose the installation position of the keel, install onto our clamp plate, and then our first step is to just cut off the protective cover a little bit. We just made a cut in the second step. Then we will put the keel into the cut mouth, thread inside, thread it across the strip, and then the significance of our incision. Just expose the installation location after we thread the 2 keels together. There are 2 more wires in the middle. This hole is relatively flat. We use an air gun to blow up this hole. When the other party passes the line through this end, lengthen it, pull to the length we want. This way the thread is threaded through. This is a situation we often see in drag chain applications. Both heads are relatively large. This is the encoder line for the servo motor. Then we have a head that can be disassembled. No need for sudden money. Just remove the outer shell and pass it through our drag chain. Next, we will remove the encoder cable that was just removed through this wire. We wrap it together through this insulating tape. Then we release this end, put this cross together, then hold the roll of insulating tape in hand. This is the power line of Senective Valeo. So this power line is one of these types of heads, one side of this head. We don't care about this head, so let's use this head to sit through. So, since this head is loose, we will do an action. We will pass this head through this insulating tape, quickly and effectively entangle it together. Then it will form such a state. We use the same method to blow open this hole. We install the first head of our mobile end. The first one is this just, as we mentioned earlier in our video. Cut it into a notch, cut a gap and install the support chain. Then there is a groove on this pressure plate. Coincidentally, the protruding position of this keel is stuck in the groove. Then we need to tear off a little bit of this film first, and then we got stuck in our slot like this. Cover this splint. This splint is also sandwiched on top of it. And then we have a detail here. This type of screw needs to be twisted on the back of its curved surface. Many people will twist this wrong. And then our sandwich screws to twist on this surface. This surface is the checkpoint we just mentioned. This face, this hexagonal screw should be twisted with the tab facing upwards. After covering this surface, let's make a reservation. Just put the card in the right position. Then we use this wrench to tighten it. There is a detail here. The details are on our side. Try to press it into the middle of this splint as much as possible. This way both sides are the same. In order to facilitate the subsequent movement of the drag chain, the sheath is not pulled out. Now we are installing our third layer. Because our tube is relatively thin, then wrap it with filling glue. Cut to a similar length. Put the excess aside. Take out this glue and stick it on. All the wires that have been inserted are pressed together. Then we will lock the first head that was just locked. Take it in carefully like this. Then install this electrical block first. After installing the power block, we can clip this here. Then let's use a splint to cover it. And this is our flathead screw. As a top cover, used as the last layer. Tighten the screws properly, and then we finished installing the entire mobile head. Next, let's see if this line can be pulled. If it can be pulled, it won't work. You need to follow the above steps to reinstall. Each one needs to be put up. We just installed our mobile device. Now install our fixed end. When designing our own drawings, 3 drag chains with different lengths. Then we bend it like this. After bending, it needs to be relatively tightly fitted together internally. And then bend it into this effect. After bending, the ends of the 3 lines are in a parallel state. Then we will install our first layer. This is a dust-free drag chain that we have assembled. Then the middle layer is tightly adhered to the basin. There's not much gap.